This is an Audio Wool original.
This episode of Frightday is brought to you by Spring-Heeled Jack Coffee. You need great coffee. Jack delivers. Visit springheeljack.coffee.
Hey guys, thanks for listening. If you'd like to support us, go to patreon.com/frightday.
It's like talking to my daughter about Jesus Christ. She can't say
Cut
it.
it out. God, don't.
Oh, right, we can't talk about that
do
anymore?
that.
No?
No more of that.
No more of the Jesus Christ?
Turning your children into heathens.
I'm not. I'm encouraging them to form their own opinions. It would be shitty if I was telling them not to believe in things. I'm very actively not doing that.
I guess.
You know? Ow!
What's
Mosquito.
Oh, all right. See, this is another reason we shouldn't be doing this
Shut up.
outside.
Smoke is getting bad.
It's not good right now.
Okay, hold on. It was much better this morning. What is the air quality like right now? 136.
That's high.
It is.
I should probably go.
Oh, you know what's funny is it's 25 points worse here than it is at your house.
Why is... Well, because of the massive forest fire just a couple miles behind your house.
Could be.
Yeah.
Could be why.
It is Frightday. I'm your host, Byron, and... What is this? Cassette tape?
Wait, what are you talking about?
Play me. All right.
What are you...
Hello, Byron. You don't know me, but I know you. When protect and serve is seemingly prioritized to officers within the precinct, a long-dead serial murderer, me, Jigsaw, has returned to play some games with these corrupt cops. But will they live or die? They've made their choice. Find out as Frightday talks torture, marionettes, and me, Jigsaw. Really. Reviewing Darren Lynn Bousman's Spiral.
Okay, that was very strange, and...
Sam can't make it because he won't pick up the phone and call you back, which is kind of suspicious.
It is a bit suspicious. Also, he just got a tattoo that says Charlie.
Oh, strange.
It's awkward.
Yeah, because... we'll talk about it.
Yeah.
The smoke continues. It's rolling in. Fire's coming up quick, Kelly.
It is.
Is it growing?
So can I tell you a secret, Byron?
Oh, sure, please.
So it's been smoky for like about a week now.
Yeah.
Like on and off, up and down.
Did you light the fire?
No, it's always burning since the world's been turning. But I didn't know there was a fire in Lolo.
You're not... Okay.
I only read national news. I don't read local news.
All right, well...
So I'm just checking that out now. I'm seeing what we've got going with this fire.
It's like 20 miles, but it is Lolo National Forest.
But it's like just 20 miles from me, eh?
It's on the other side of the mountain.
Okay. Let's see. Yeah, that's not good. Okay, you just keep going. I'm going to make sure that we don't have...
West Lolo Complex fire updates, community meeting planned.
Well, it's been a couple years since we had to evac. I guess it's about time.
Good thing we got it.
Oh, but it's okay because it's 1% contained,
nice.
Byron.
They're working on it, okay?
Those poor
Get
firefighters.
Off their ass right now.
Fucking climate change.
I don't think it's real. I saw a congressman carry a snowball into...
I asked the chair, you know what this is? It's a snowball. And that's just from outside here. So it's very, very cold out, very unseasonal. So here, Mr. President, catch this.
Who did that?
I can't remember his name. Doesn't deserve to be talked about.
You're right.
Just
You're right.
sad.
Okay.
But hope everyone's doing well. Stay safe. I think, 90% of the United States is in drought right now, so please don't be... It's a good excuse to either stop smoking or...
Just don't be a dick.
Do the Smokey rules.
Smokey Bear. You know it's Smokey Bear and not Smokey the Bear? Did you know
That's
that?
first name Smokey, last name Bear?
No the.
All right. Kelly, these DVD copies of House of Sand and Fog aren't going to put themselves
Okay,
away.
that is a straight up good movie.
It's time for staff picks.
They say so much, but they never tell you if it's any good.
Werewolf movie with P.T.'s mom in it.
The Howling, horror straight ahead.
God, so crushing. Just so sad. Great
Misunderstandings.
Fucking itches.
What'd you get bit by another mosquito?
It's 900 degrees, but I'm gonna have to put on a sweater.
We could be in an air-conditioned residence right now. I got a text message from you this week. I was out on a run, and I looked down. You interrupted my run with...
Well, you shouldn't have been running.
Well, it wasn't...
Sam agreed with me when he said, it looks like Byron's on a run. Why is he running?
You said 9:22 p.m. at night, classic Byron. Okay, I'm 25 minutes in, and I'm not sure that I'm watching the right movie. It's really good, but no sign of Chris Rock. I say, oh, Kelly, that's the wrong movie for sure. And what you said?
And just for the record, it was 35 minutes in, not 25.
Oh, shit, yeah, that is what you said. Are you fucking serious? And I said, Spiral, Book of Saw. Yep. And you said, wait, what? And I sent you a link to it. And I said, you're watching the 2019 Spiral.
Okay, so in my defense, production quality was pretty high.
Yeah.
I logged into Shudder. Well, I did a search for Spiral.
Okay.
And it came up and it said it's on
it's
Shudder.
on
I was like,
Shudder.
oh, sweet. Awesome. I didn't know that. That's great. And I play it and like it's got the Spiral picture.
It does have a Spiral logo on the front there.
From
yeah, that's kind of
and so I'm like, okay. And I
so.
thought like, so this is the way my brain processed it. The first 20 minutes probably. I was going, oh, because I looked up on IMDb because I was trying to figure out who the two lead actors were. They weren't listed anywhere on the IMDb page for it.
Not.
And I was like, I bet something totally crazy happens to them. And they like aren't listed in the credits because like it's part of like the
Like the
secret with the
flip.
movie. And they're not
Yeah.
going to. So I was just waiting. I'm like, oh, this is going to be a
Then
Shyamalan.
Chris Rock is going to jump out of a closet and say, I'm Jigsaw!
Right.
Or something, right?
Maybe. But I was just waiting for it. I'm like, okay.
All right.
And then I was like, all right, we're almost to the halfway point. This feels weird.
Yep.
Then I texted you. But I was pretty disappointed because it was good. I was enjoying
What do
it.
you think of those orange shoes I have now?
I mean, they're a bit louder than I'm used to you
Leaning
wearing.
into orange. It's my new color this year.
This is turmeric.
Yeah, I
This
don't-
color is turmeric.
It's turmeric.
It's turmeric.
All right.
Look at how it's spelled.
Spiral, though. Tell me what it's about. This is your staff pick.
Yes.
It's my first night there. I see this guy, and I was terrified. You're dead. Believe me, choosing to live your life loud and proud is about the bravest thing you can do in this world.
That robot's pretty good.
I'm Tiffany, your new neighbor.
I'm Aaron. This is my partner.
Hey.
Wow. I'm just so happy we have some fresh faces in the neighborhood.
Love is all that matters.
I'm not sure most people would actually agree with that.
I find it disgusting how false stereotypes shape public opinion.
Aaron, last night, I think I saw something.
It starts with this really horrifying scene from the mid-'80s where two teenage boys are having a romantic moment in the back of a car, just pretty innocently making out, and a headlight shows ahead. Oof. It cuts to one of the boys being on the ground, just getting the shit kicked out of him. Very obviously a homophobic, violent attack.
Kind of like that It Chapter 2 moment?
Yes, actually very similar vibes.
Yeah.
But better done, I would say.
Really? Yeah. I mean, not surprising. I thought It Chapter 2 was a bit of a stink.
It was shitty. So then fast forward, and now we're in 1995, and it's very clear that the other boy who had been witness to this horrible ordeal is now partnered with an older white male, and they are driving to move to a new home with the teenage daughter of this man. So we've got kind of some angsty stuff going on with the teenage girl, and she's got two dads, and it's the mid-90s, which it was a bit challenging, and people were, being fairly ignorant about the AIDS epidemic.
Sure.
And, so there were all these really interesting social commentary bits. The acting was really solid.
Yeah. The older partner goes, want to play a game?
Well, he plays a lot of music.
Oh, okay, different kind of.
So there's that. It's a good movie. You should watch it anyway because...
Curtis David Harder is the name of the director, and he has a lot of friends that we have.
Oh, really?
He runs around with the Colin Minahan, Brandon Christensen gang.
Really?
The Canadian filmmakers. He's a producer on Brandon's new movie, Superhost, which we showed some clips of it. I believe at Camp Frightday last time.
Yeah, I think we did.
I don't know if I shared them. He sent me some stuff. It looks really good. As well as VHS 9.
When does that come out?
I don't know who's bought it yet. I need to connect with Brandon. It's been a while. Thanks for reminding me. He's also a producer on VHS 94, which is the new VHS. Should be great.
Very cool.
Z, he was a producer. What Keeps You Alive, which was Colin Minahan's.
Yeah.
Did it have that Canadian horror vibe?
A little bit, but not extreme.
Because I feel like they have a thing going.
They do have a little bit of a vibe. I would say no. This was a pretty even keel. Basically, I don't want to spoil anything. They move into this neighborhood. It's a very quiet, sleepy town, and they've never had a couple like this there before, right? Like it's all.
What year is it based in again?
95.
Okay.
Which is an interesting pick for a year because I think, it really capitalizes on a lot of different social themes that intersect with the literal horror backstory that's going on here. So, weird things start happening. The neighbors are not what they seem. And
is it an everyone's in on it kind of situation?
I don't know. Check it out. Real fun. Yep. I don't regret accidentally watching it.
So Spiral, 2019.
Bam.
Thumbing it up.
Bam, bam, bam.
So let's go back a couple years. 2007 was a great year for horror. We had the French New Wave film Inside, one of the best horror anthologies, Trick or Treat, The Mist, Wreck, and one of Kelly's favorites, 28 Weeks Later.
Way better.
As well as 30 Days of Night.
Yeah, moderately fun at least.
But there's one film that I never got around to. I'm sure actually more than one, but this one in particular that I'm going to talk about. A reclusive telemarketer works at an office where his boss is his only friend. As he befriends a new social colleague and sketches/paints her, his dark mind surfaces.
Explain to me what movie you are discussing.
Starring Joel David Moore, Zachary Levi, and Amber Tamblyn. I'm talking Adam Green's Spiral.
No way.
I think I did something. Something bad.
Why did you even invite him?
You went to the cemetery? I didn't know you ever went out there.
I don't.
She's pretty. Who's she?
Nobody.
Well, you have a good imagination. You should paint this, Mason.
I don't do scenery.
Just people? Like the girl in your sketches?
I do like Zachary Levi, except I can't remember. I feel like I read something because he was in Maisel.
Oh, he's a Marvelous Maisel guy?
Yeah.
Joel David Moore, I think he's just an Avatar gentleman at this point. Was he in Grandma's Boy before that? I think he probably was.
Grandma's Boy, really?
Classic pull. Adam, known for films like Frozen, Hatchet, Digging Up the Marrow, which we covered way back in episode 15 of the podcast.
I like that one.
It was fine. Traditionally, we haven't had... we've not been the kindest
He's obnoxious.
Adam Green. I've never seen this movie, but I've heard Adam talk about it endlessly when I used to listen to his podcast, The Movie Crypt. The completionist in me is saying that I should probably check it out. But
I know who Joel David Moore is.
Yeah, tall, lanky, kind of a DJ Qualls character.
Yep. Amber Tamblyn, David Cross's
wife. Yep.
Was she Harriet the Spy, or was that... No, that was Michelle Trachtenberg.
Yeah, different. Blind recommendation. Who knows? Don't get mad at me if this is a bad movie, but I just had to play a joke on Kelly. So I guess the game of tonight is going to be to figure out which the best spiral is.
Okay.
Got a lot
of
spirals to weigh here.
Yep.
Speaking of weigh, get out of my way, guys. Get out of this video store.
Well,
so rude. No one's going to come back after a while.
Although maybe they will, because it's so niche at this point, Byron. I mean, all of them are closed.
This place is kind of like a Dick's Last Resort, where we just yell at people.
Yeah, I agree.
I sat down at one of those one time in Vegas with my good friend Jim, your old
it seems
roommate for a little bit.
Seems like his jam.
We got insulted 3 times, and then we just were like, she's like, what, are you gonna get up and leave? I think we are. And then we left.
But you knew what you were getting into. How could you be upset about it?
It just wasn't as fun as you would think, to be purposefully made to feel like a burden at a restaurant.
Oh my God.
I've been talking Saw for a long time, Kelly. Traditionally not
a fan.
Not a franchise that you're into.
Not a fan. No.
But will tonight change that?
I do love Samuel L. Jackson.
We'll talk about that as we review Spiral.
We hope you're enjoying your visit here this evening. Now, on with the show.
Spiral, also known as Spiral from the Book of Saw, is a 2021 American horror film directed by Darren Lynn Bousman and written by Josh Stolberg and Peter Goldfinger. It is the 9th installment in the Saw film franchise. Working in the shadow of his father, Detective Ezekiel Zeke Banks. Did they say his name's Ezekiel ever? Or is that just extrapolated in the synopsis here?
That's a really good question.
And his rookie partner take charge of an investigation into grisly murders that are eerily reminiscent of the city's gruesome past. Unwittingly entrapped in a deepening mystery, Zeke finds himself at the center of the killer's morbid game.
So I feel like that synopsis was written before the movie was actually filmed.
Yeah.
Because it isn't like eerily familiar, like it is straight
It's
up
pretty
jigsaw shit.
Close. It is what people would describe as jigsaw. Jig? Oh no.
Are you drunk?
Jigsaw shit.
Is that vodka?
No. It's not.
Okay.
So after the Spierig brothers bowed out, we learned a lot about them in Like a Lionsgate bracket style competition and Behind the Screams. Producers Mark Berg and Oren Coules, Coules, Coules? We're looking for a way to continue the franchise, and they found that opportunity when Chris Rock was introduced to the head of Lionsgate at a friend's wedding. Quote, when Chris Rock came to us and described in chilling detail his fantastic vision that reimagines and spins off the world of the notorious Jigsaw Killer, we were all in, said Lionsgate's motion picture group chairman Joe Drake in Deadline way back on May 16th, 2019.
Okay, so Rock was on board first. Did Rock talk Jackson into it?
Yeah, I don't have that information.
I mean, I can't imagine, no offense, but I can't imagine anybody else with the Saw franchise having that kind of clout.
Yeah, quote, Saw is one of the highest grossing horror franchises of all time, and it's one of Lionsgate's most successful film series. This upcoming film will still be as mind-bending and intense as all the previous Saw films. Chris conceived... What do we got here? Jimmy Fallon?
Chris Rock reveals how he got Samuel L. Jackson to work in Spiral.
And then I'll just plug that audio for real in.
Let me talk to you about this. What's scary, man? Frightening scary.
Frightening!
I mean, but then
You know what the scariest movie I ever saw?
What?
Fatal Attraction.
Yes. But I would say that really is.
That's the real
How old is Chris
scary.
Rock? Because he looks identical. Yeah. And it's
I don't think
creepy.
he's a
And your
vampire.
woman finding out.
Like, he has no wrinkles.
No, he looks pretty good.
Goblins, vampires.
No.
I feel like that was a piece of ash that just floated down.
Yeah, there's definitely more
A
smoke coming.
bad woman? Now that,
Scary.
that'll make it hard to sleep.
I'm watching the movie.
Are we still
and,
just talking about
it's,
Fatal Attraction? How long is this clip?
The head of Lionsgate was like kind of, maybe not this far away, but
that would be unnatural.
yeah, that would be unnatural. And so I'm like, oh, I know this guy, the head of Lionsgate. I was like, oh, you guys have Saw. You ever thought about having some humor in it? Just a little bit, you know?
Yeah, just
one joke. And he thought it was a good idea. And he called me in. We had this meeting like 3 weeks later. And next thing I know,
There are so many movies that I've watched and gone, 3 jokes would have made that movie a lot better. This is Chris Rock expanding on that idea. You know what I mean? A lot of times you can get comedy in things if it's grounded without it changing the movie per se. Just like that story that Beverly Hills Cop was written for Sylvester Stallone. Eddie Murphy was hired at the last minute and they made kind of the same movie, but it was grounded with just a little here, here, and here. So Saw is really scary and really bloody. It's a Saw movie, but every now and then you take a little air out. It's going to be good.
That's
Then
crazy.
we got Sam Jackson in there.
There we go.
Oh, I love Sam Jackson.
Who doesn't love Sam Jackson?
What's he like to act with?
He is, people always go, how'd you get Sam? He did you a favor. No, we got Sam a check, okay?
If you pay Sam... Okay.
You pay Sam Jackson, he will show up, okay? But if Sam's your neighbor and you try to borrow a rake, it'll cost you $1,000.
Yeah, but you can get the rake if you want.
You can get the rake, but it's gonna cost you. So
he plays your dad.
We paid, he played my dad, and it was great. He's kind of method, so he insisted on sleeping with my mother.
That's not true.
All right, let's cut it. We get the point.
This is a family show,
all right,
Chris.
Guys, come on.
No, there were some moments that were pretty solid in terms of his humor.
I agree, and it wasn't like wildly humorous. He wasn't doing bits, but
it wasn't absurd. It was fun. I mean,
I'm not
the thing.
done talking about the background of the film here.
God.
May 16th, 2019, it was officially in pre-production. Former series director Darren Lynn Bousman returned to the helm of the film. And this was a huge favor to Chris. Chris said that he wouldn't do the movie if Darren wasn't directing. Darren said after Saw 4, I'm out of it. And there's definitely ash falling on us right now. I just saw another piece. This is horrifying.
Let me check that news again.
It's
Hold on.
fine. James Wan
going
and
to
Lee
burn
Winnell,
up
the
right now?
creators of the franchise, along with a guy named Daniel Hefner, and Chris Rock, actually. I don't know, not Hugh. Executive producers Josh Stolberg and Peter Goldfinger were confirmed as scriptwriters, and those folks, you would know them from, they've been working for a long time, but horror films, 2009's Sorority Row, Piranha 3D and 3DD, as well as Jigsaw, which came out in 2017. That's the last Saw film before this. Darren
Lynn Bousman. He's such a weird name.
Saw 2, 3, 4, Repo, The Genetic Opera, Devil's Carnival and its sequel, The Barons. A lot of those films we covered in, again, the In Like a Lion's Gate, Behind the Scream series. Tales of Halloween, Abattoir, and a film that we covered in episode 196 of this show, Saint Agatha. I did an interview with him for that, and I did so poorly I never put it out.
What was so bad
I
about
don't
it?
recall, but I would appreciate it if you would do two things, not look at your phone and also speak into the microphone.
I'm trying to see if we're going to die.
We're fine for now. But he also last year put out a film called Death of Me, which we did not see either. But now we're here, Kelly.
Well, it was a good movie. I don't know if it was better than my other Spiral.
That's where
That's where I'm starting.
You're the worst at this.
I know.
Tom Six, cold opening. You know Tom Six, director of Human Centipede? Known for always wearing a suit and one of those fedoras. That's what I recognize with the opening scene here. 4th of July, off-duty police officer lured into a subway tunnel by a purse thief. I thought the guy looked a little bit like Tom Six. It seemed like a nod to a friend.
Maybe. I mean, it reminded me more of, oh God, what was the inspiration for X-Files? It has the dad from, hold on.
No idea what you're talking about.
No, the dad from Christmas Story.
Okay, so
Darren McGovern.
Just gonna keep
maybe he just
talking
died
so I can't say
recently.
anything.
Darren McGavin. Darren McGavin.
All right. So.
His most famous role was as a guy who wore kind of that same.
It's kind of like a Panama suit, you know?
Yes, and he wore that same outfit and a hat, Kolchak.
Oh, the Night Stalker.
Yeah. So if you look at pictures of him, he looked exactly like the guy in this. In fact, I thought that like they were doing something with that at
towards
first.
that. Maybe Tom Six. Are you blinking because of the ash in your eye?
Yes.
Ooh, we're fine. So after approaching who he thought was the suspect sitting in a chair facing away,
It was a mannequin.
It was a mannequin, and
Watch for that jump scare.
Listen, I don't know if this scene involved a piece of cloth being wrapped around someone's head very quickly, but that happens several times in this movie. I love these knockout jump scares. They get me every time.
Why?
They're sudden, they're shocking, and they usually have a sound sting that helps me out.
You want to know why it doesn't get me?
Well, you
because
weren't
it's not a fucking ghost. It's not a ghost, it's not an alien, it's just a dude.
Yeah, dudes are real, ghosts are not. And I saw this in the theater, so I had stereo sound probably.
Okay, I guess that's probably true.
Dolby'd me.
I didn't get Dolby'd. I mean, don't get me wrong, I always like a jump scare. Like, that doesn't, you're not going to see me complain about a jump scare, but it was fine. It wasn't great. The parts that I liked more than anything were character developments for the characters that I liked.
Well, we could jump into Chris Rock's development. We start off with a crew of robbers in a hotel room, riffing whether or not Forrest Gump could be made today. Maybe this is part of the comedy that Rock could inject into this film.
Yeah.
It did seem almost like a Rock riff.
So the Chris Rock movie that I've watched more than anything else, for whatever reason, is Lethal Weapon 4.
Oh, never seen any of
I've watched it at least 100 times. I don't know why.
Wow.
It's very weird. It reminded me of a very similar humor.
Mm-hmm. They're locking and loading, and they're preparing to rip off some drug dealers.
Yeah.
And they do that. It's kind of like a cool heisty, like a Heat heist. Is Heat a comparison? I don't know heist films. I'm in a corner.
Heat is a heist. Yes,
Thank you.
Heat is a heist.
But he gets busted because he did an uncleared undercover operation.
And which is funny because at the beginning of the movie, you start out going like, wait a second, is he a crooked cop? And then you realize it is exactly the opposite. He's like the only not crooked cop.
Yeah, he's a loose cannon, but he's for good reasons a loose cannon.
Yeah.
Because he can't trust anyone else on the force. And for some reason, assigning him a new partner seems like a good idea. Which I guess in theory it does.
Yep.
What was the name of the new chief? Or I guess the chief.
911 calls coming. What if someone got killed?
That crew killed 4 people last week, and we got them. And we could have got more of them if my cover wasn't blown.
Fuck your cover, Zeke! You were off on your own, as usual. No backup, nothing.
No backup, because there's nobody on the force I can fucking trust!
Angie. She's not chief.
Least favorite character.
She's a captain. Why didn't you like her? You did text me that you felt like her...
Just her character. It's one of those characters that just felt so two-dimensional and unrealistic.
It did seem like it was not a unique approach towards a police captain.
Correct.
Other than it is a female twist, which is good. Right? I mean,
yeah, I guess. But even that felt just like token.
It was like they didn't shift the script at all. And they're like, we're going to blind cast this, which is nice. But maybe it would have been even better if they did lean into it being actual female representation in the police force instead of being like, instead of trying to do it.
Exactly.
Yeah. Right off the top, it doesn't feel like a terribly realistic movie, which kind of matches that early 2000s torture porn high contrast thing that they're doing. It doesn't look like reality either. It's like lit, very like noir-y.
Right.
You know what I'm saying?
Yes, yes. I thought that was fun. I thought some of the vibes, tonally, it just felt like it was hopping around.
Oh, it was. It was
a little bit.
It was kind of a mess.
Yeah.
But we learn a lot about Zeke, and I quickly like him. I'm pro Zeke right off the bat.
Yeah, I was too. Very much.
He's a bit
so.
of a negative Nancy, but he's
for,
got this new partner.
For good reason, it felt like.
Morgan Shank's about to have a bad first day.
From now on, you're gonna learn to be a team player. You're getting a partner. Jeannie, send Shank in.
Do I look like a fucking Jamaican nanny? Do I smell like jerk sauce and baby wipes? No, me no want no partner. I'm not babysitting some fucking rook.
Yes, you are. Just because your dad was chief fucking Marcus Banks doesn't mean you get out of this shit.
Stop making this about my father, okay? He's gone. You're the head of the department.
He's your typical goody two-shoes, did great in the academy, and he was heavily inspired by the work of Banks' father, who was this ex-chief that he's like a clean up the city kind of guy.
Yep.
Even though we've never heard of him in the Saw films.
That's what I was, because obviously my familiarity with the Saw films is fairly limited. So I was going to ask you if that was a thing that had come up before.
I think that's kind of interesting. I have not seen the later Saw films, so I couldn't really tell you that. But
did you dig in at all to see it? Like, well,
no,
okay,
because I'm doing all this prep work for Saw and Logs, and I've tackle the
I
couple
feel like I
of
need to
them.
make you choose between Bar Jonah and Saw and Logs.
It is really unfortunate that everything's kind of happening at the same time. It's a lot going on. So it will be later than I anticipated, but I still am doing a lot of work at the same time. I'm juggling these projects, and it's very exciting.
Don't worry about juggling it. Maybe just go ahead and do it with one of them. That would be fine.
Right off the bat, one of my favorite scenes. There is, and I don't think you noticed this. Maybe you did. It's this monologue, this bonding between veteran and rookie cop. We're cops. This is the life we choose. Highest divorce
rate, highest suicide rate, highest rate of domestic violence. Yo, when you decide to become a cop, you pretty much assured yourself you were gonna die alone.
My wife and I are doing this counseling. She's got me working on communication.
Counseling? Hey, that's nice. Yeah, my wife fucked a counselor.
Wait, fuck, really?
Yeah.
Jesus.
Women cheat too. It hurts. God damn it, it hurts. Women cheat too, but here's what happens. Women cheat in the daytime. You can get away with a lot of shit in the daytime. That's right. You can ride a lot of dick before dusk. Shit, man. I just found out Pilates doesn't even exist.
They got this call of a dead body in the subway tunnel. So they're walking down, and the whole thing is, I think it's over 2 minutes long, single take following them as they walk down the subway stairs. And the camera, at the beginning is in front of them and then behind them and then wraps back around. Excuse me, Mr. Microphone. I mean, 2 minutes is a huge shot. 2 minutes is a very long shot.
Isn't it funny? Because I didn't even notice that.
Well, I watched it again today, or else I would have missed it. But I thought it was actually really great. That's some good filmmaking, and it also proves that these two actors are incredible. We didn't talk about the gentleman who is playing the rookie cop, Max Minghella. Probably not saying that.
Yeah, okay. But here's the thing: is I recognized him, and
Handmaid's Tale.
I've never watched Handmaid's Tale.
Really?
Really?
Oh, well, that's the only place I recognize him from. Apparently, he was in The Social Network as well. I like him. I think he's a very, very talented actor.
I loved him, and he just felt so familiar to me. Like I had seen him in stuff before.
He's got that kind of face.
I guess. It's really bugging me. I feel like there's something that wasn't listed on his IMDb profile.
Did you dig through it?
Yeah, and I couldn't find anything on there that I would necessarily know him from.
He's just your typical good guy, wants to do right, and loves his wife. He's got this son, Charlie.
Baby, not just son, but
baby.
Baby, we hear crying.
You kind of connected with the Chris Rock character at this point when he's talking about how his wife cheated on him and lied about Pilates. He's like, Pilates isn't even a thing. Pilates doesn't exist.
That was one of my favorite quotes.
That's a light rockism.
Yeah.
You
I just
rock
learned
it
that
out.
Pilates isn't a thing. Yeah.
I love that.
I did too.
How hard it is to be a cop. It was a fun moment. This 2-minute scene that had nothing to do with horror, I really enjoyed.
Yeah.
Spiral graffiti. What do you think about it?
I mean, it was, I guess, expected. It was fine.
I think it's a cool twist, though. Like, we've had this iconic imagery for so long of Jigsaw. Why didn't we simplify it sooner?
Well, I was just going to ask you, do they really not use Saw graffiti in any of the other movies?
Again, I don't know because I haven't seen the later films.
But the ones that you've seen, because you've still seen way more than I have.
Maybe there has been, but I just think it's really iconic.
Okay.
So maybe it is something that's been seen more. Listen, not a Saw expert over here. I will be very, very soon, but
fair.
They're starting to think that this body. We forgot about the entire cold opening. We do see the man who was snatched up at the fair on the 4th of July, suspended by his tongue.
Oh, it was amazing. Hold on, time out, B. I gotta turn some lights on.
Too dark, or are you worried about the ash?
See if this is actually ash. I got it.
It's all right, guys. We're going to be fine. If this is out, we're fine.
That's a great way to look at it.
I don't mean to suck the drama out of this, but if you're hearing it, we are alive. There's a detective suspended by his tongue on a box. He's been telling lies, I guess?
Yeah, on the witness stand.
On the witness stand, she said. He has to rip off his tongue or else he'll be hit by a train. And he waits a little too long, and in the very last minute does rip out his own tongue and then gets simultaneously smashed by a train. So they don't necessarily know it's him until they follow this clue after receiving... That is ash everywhere. Yeah, it's bad. We've got a USB drive delivered explaining that they need to go to this place. We're going to be fine. We are not going to be burning down.
Oh my God.
Everything's okay. Would you rip your own tongue off if you were a liar, Kelly?
I don't know. I mean...
Unsure?
I don't know how strong my instinct to survive is. I have no idea if I would survive one of those things.
It's a tough one because the tongue is a large muscle. But so we're there. We've got this. And they didn't confirm the identity of this person until they got a box with his tongue and his badge pinned to it. I thought that was a really cool method of like, this is going to be a cop killing movie.
Yeah.
We're going to see this repeated imagery of something horrific and then identifying them with their badge. That was cool. Boz is a fucking liar.
Well, yeah, I mean, and as we're learning, pretty much every cop in this department is awful.
Yeah, like the one guy, my least favorite guy, the most scowly guy. Do you remember his name?
Oh, no. What was it?
I think it was Detective Farts.
I mean, something like that.
Farts, Franz.
Something like
Derek
that.
Piss. Detective Derek Piss.
I mean, it was something along those lines.
He murdered a man because he insulted him, pulled his trigger finger, and killed a man. So he got snatched up following a lead and didn't tell everyone else that he was doing it because no one trusts, what's his name? And we will talk about that. No one trusts Banks? No, Zeke Banks. Yes, I am right there. So this guy ends up with his fingers in like finger traps in a big thing of salt water, and he has to rip off his own fingers by chewing down on this thing.
Hello, Detective Fitch. I want to play a game. The tide of justice is rising around you. In 90 seconds, the water will rise to the height of the copper wires. And if you are still in the tank, you will be electrocuted unless you make the sacrifice that will cleanse you. You murdered a man because he insulted you.
Put your hands where I can see them, motherfucker.
I said put your hands where I can see them, sir.
Your finger pulled the trigger, and that cannot happen again. Survival is simple, but it comes with a sacrifice. Bite down on the device in your mouth, which will start the motor that will rip your fingers away, leaving you free to escape with your life. But if you don't act quickly, all that awaits you is this watery tomb. Live or die. Make your choice.
Okay, so, but here's the thing, like, the finger traps were so long. Like, I didn't understand, like, did he already have his fingers stretched out, or was that just...
He woke up in the tub, so he, like, had to sit upright, remember? You're saying
Yeah,
you don't
but,
think
like,
he
the
was...
actual apparatus that was hooked up to his fingers, like, they were so long.
So what are you saying? That you think he could have tried to get him off?
No, I'm saying, were the fingers all stretched out, or was that just the weird apparatus?
That was just
on
the
tips of-
apparatus.
Oh, okay.
It was just like metal.
It was very creepy. That
wire.
that was one of the scariest parts, just because of how his hands looked, not because I was worried about the pain that he was
freaky deaky.
undergoing.
So, like I said, he killed a boy because the guy like said something bad about him during a traffic stop. So, and now instead of using the trigger fingers he has to have his fingers ripped off. Kelly, would you rip your own fingers off?
In theory, yes. I would tell you yes, I would. If it came down to it, I don't know.
It looked pretty...
He was trying. That was my favorite part about both of these, is they ended up trying to do it, but...
They just fucking didn't do it
They
in
didn't
time.
commit early enough.
Yeah, because in order to trigger this tension on his fingers, he had to bite down on this thing in his weird saw helmet. You know, as you're watching it, one of the fingers pops first. I feel like after the first one goes, I would be totally like, yeah, let's just keep on rocking and rolling. Just keep it going at that point, right? Excruciating pain, just keep biting down.
I guess. I have no idea what I would do, but I do hear that women have a stronger pain tolerance than men, generally speaking.
It's that pregnancy instinct thing.
Maybe.
Isn't that what they said? I don't know.
I mean, that is, I think, evolutionarily why.
All right. Well, he couldn't do it. He got electrocuted in the salt water by a copper coil.
Yep.
Yeah, and he looked pretty shitty after that.
Yep.
Police station is in chaos. Chris Rock is trying to get a little help from his dad. His dad is a bit of a hard ass. They say they're going to talk about it at dinner, but his dad doesn't show up. Don't know where he's at. But it doesn't stop this new team, this new pair, from hitting the streets. What do you think of the drug deal scene? We're trying to get more information.
I get what Chris Rock was saying about infusing comedy, and there were parts that were genuinely funny.
Like putting an ink pack in a drug dealer's bucket.
But also just like that's
This
all
one took me
real,
out.
and that stuff happens not the ink packet,
Not
but
all
like
the time.
Like, but
The
meth
bucket.
addicts and like people.
Heroin,
it's just
even more than that. Like,
treating that
it's a Baltimore kind of thing.
in a nonchalant, funny way is just hard for me. I'm not saying that there's something wrong with it. It's just I'm a privileged wuss, and that freaks me out.
Okay. I mean, we are talking about a movie where a serial killer...
Doesn't bother me nearly as much.
So...
Because a serial killer shit, like, no serial killer's ever done anything like this. Like, it's just not realistic. But it is realistic. There are literally hundreds of thousands of people tonight that are addicted to one of those drugs, dealing with a similarly sketchy drug dealer, maybe with a bucket.
All right, well...
And that freaks me out.
Okay, that makes sense. Well, did it make you feel better when Zeke tackled him and fucked up that dude's leg and then took a picture for the gram?
Oh, my fucking leg! That leg is fucked up! Yo. Let me get a shot for the gram. Hold on for a second.
Because the bone was sticking out?
I mean, I liked that.
It was fine,
yes.
but the scene was not really good use of time, I guess. It was
No.
just
I
character
agree.
development. Like,
But see, I felt like the character development we got out of that we already got from other things.
Yeah.
I would have rather seen more with his father.
or more with Pete.
Yes.
Pete, it's the place they go next. They pay a visit to him. He is Zeke's old partner from way back in the day. Got kicked off the force, and he's leading an AA meeting. He's 18 months sober, living in a church basement, and his back has been stabbed by Zeke. Zeke just did the right thing.
I mean, yes.
Broke the police code. Like, not the code, but the code of...
Yep.
And that's why no one trusts him. That's why everyone scowls at him every time he tries to get an assignment and wants to lead an investigation. I thought that was the weirdest thing. Remember when he is like, it's my investigation, and he has that, like, very serious, like, bullied kid reaction?
Yeah.
Okay, O'Brien's got point.
O'Brien, this is mine. Me and the Rook were first on scene.
Thanks.
I'm sorry. Isn't this protocol?
Now you're part of the team again, Zeke. Fuck you.
No, fuck you.
Come on, Zeke.
When all you motherfuckers would treat me like shit, shoot me in my fucking back, Boz was my friend. Boz played with my kid. We went to fucking games. Fuck me? No. Fuck you. Fucking assholes.
Zeke! Zeke! Fucking stop!
Yeah.
It was not something I've seen in a police movie, that sort of reaction.
Yep.
It was interesting, I guess.
Yeah. Well, yeah, I agree.
Okay.
I just think the emotions that are displayed from the characters in this. Didn't you say that this was delayed or changed after the severe unrest last summer?
That was just me guessing.
Okay.
I think anyone trying to put out a film about police in a post-George Floyd world is going to have a lot more trouble. I have no confirmation of this film being changed in any way, but maybe it felt different, or it felt...
Yeah. I mean, I wouldn't necessarily say it was pro-cop or anti-cop, even though it was very heavily filled with pro and anti-cop messages throughout.
Which maybe that's the compromise.
It was a bit Hunt-esque in that sense.
Oh, fire truck.
I'm primarily pissed about my rug right now.
Oh, all the ash on the
Secondarily pissed because I can't find any information about this fire.
You know what, though? Also, Zeke can't find his dad again. But the next day, a bigger package shows up at the police department. They clear the precinct because this one's bigger than any one of the other ones. And it is Mr. Snuggles' head wrapped in a bunch of skin. And that is what they call new Jigsaw, is Mr. Snuggles. I don't know if they ever say it in the movie. That is what it is referred to by Darren and Chris and everyone else. It's new lore. Yeah, Mr. Snuggles, which is it's a pig marionette puppet thing. Do you like it better than Jigsaw on a trike?
I just don't give a shit.
All right.
Neither of those.
And on the skin, guys, Charlie written on the skin, Chris Rock's partner, also had the Charlie tattoo.
Man, Rock's feeling bad because everybody around him is just
dying.
dropping.
He's not doing anything that can stop
Bam,
it.
bam.
Dad's missing. Coworkers are dead. And there's inside a vial of Constantine paint, which is a place where Zeke and his dad used to go. They knew that place very well. So.
Yeah, because model trains.
Yeah, a piece of paper as part of the package says, "Am I getting under your skin, Detective Banks?" I'm not going to affect the voice again. Careful, because, you know, it wasn't me. It was actually Jigsaw. While you're looking for more bodies to drop, I'll take your head. Which I thought that this clue, listen, we're going to start sliding into spoilers, but this clue is like the most obvious thing I've ever heard in my entire life. Like, I'll take your head. That's not a threat that people like. One, Jigsaw's never just been like known to take someone's head.
Well, it's not Jigsaw.
I know it's not Jigsaw, but
what happened to Jigsaw at the end of the last one? Like, was he...
told you I haven't seen it.
But you must know the
No,
lore.
I mean, I know at some points during the franchise he got cancer and he had followers. It was always like an assisted thing, and maybe he had like backlogs of shit. I don't fucking know.
What was his motivation? Like, where did he come from? Why did he want to do all that?
We're going to save that for, because you are the one who's going to be doing the first Saw.
The first
with
one
me.
has his origin story, though?
Yeah, it does, actually.
Okay.
Yeah, yeah.
All right,
so,
cool.
I mean,
Well,
maybe not all of it, but it gives you an
kick in the
idea.
ass, I suppose.
Yeah, right. So this happens, and everyone leaves the station looking out for what's going to happen.
Fuck me.
What's going on?
The fucking fire.
You're going to be fine. Everyone's on the lookout because they're waiting for something to happen. And then an officer is randomly slashed, so everyone rushes to that scene to try to get a perimeter. But guess what? At the station, Angie, still there, our chief. Not chief. What did I say?
I think she is chief.
She's captain.
Whatever.
She's knocked
She's
out by
the
Jigsaw.
head of the asshole police
Getting her head
officers.
wrapped in that fucking paper, the cloth, and I love it every single time. She's knocked out by new Jigsaw and wakes up on a table with a rag on her face and a blade against the back of her neck, and she's told,
Hello, Captain Garza. I want to play a game. You have covered up corruption in your department, never sticking your neck out for the innocent. Now, the cover-up will be on you. In a few seconds, boiling hot wax will be coming out of the pipe above you. The only way to stop yourself from being suffocated is to sever your spinal cord with the blade beneath your neck, which will stop
hot
the
wax will drip on her face unless she severs her spinal cord. And this is the most fucked up one, I think, out of all of them. You will not walk away, but you won't die, is what he says. And I gotta say, I don't know if Jigsaw understands which vertebrae being separated would cause someone not to die. Like, I think anything in the neck could cause your lungs to not be working.
I would imagine.
Like between the C's there, the cervicals. Like,
I mean, you're the one that you have more medical.
it's been a very
training
long
than I
time
do.
since I was in EMT school, but
not that long.
A couple years at this point. But I think I don't know. This one fucked me up the most because she like is kind of trying to do it, right?
Yeah, she's
was trying to saw through her spine as this wax drips on her face. Really intense, like Zeke trying to get to her moment, and when he finally does and peels the wax off her face, I just kept thinking, like, please don't be alive, because her face was completely cooked. That would have been, I think, more horrific if she made it through this. Just the idea that she has to live the rest of her life with a face that looked like a well-done turkey. The meat looked pulled porkable, you know?
Yeah. What was weird is I remember when he was peeling it back, it felt initially like there was nothing recognizable, and then it was
there's
like
a middle section.
Yes. It
Yeah,
was weird.
that's what I'm saying.
It was
It's like,
really weird.
I just am glad she was dead. Not because she deserved it, but because that would have been an awful life to live. Yeah. 13 minutes of missing footage. You needed a badge and password to do it. Badge 213. It was Pete. Pete logged in, but it could have also been Chris Rock's dad, Zeke's dad. But who knows? This is where things get turned up again. Suspicion on ex-Chief Banks. When's the last time you saw your father? You're too close to this one, Zeke. That like stereotypical like cop procedural.
Yes.
And then we get Chris Rock freaking out and screaming in his car. I love a silent scream. You know that. I think Chris Rock could have gave it a little bit more. It seemed like he was taking it easy on the wrists when he's banging on the steering wheel.
I mean,
I don't know.
he talks with his hands a lot. He can't like be risking that.
Yeah, it's true. They look good. You can't be breaking those buddies up. Yeah. We return to Pete's church, and I think this might be where we stop because we're rolling up to the third act. where all the loose threads come together?
Yes.
Do you want to talk about that stuff or not?
No. I want to say one thing about it.
Is it a spoiler?
No.
Okay.
It will only make sense once you've seen the end.
Okay.
But it's not a spoiler.
All right, let's try it out.
In the last scene of the movie where things really go bananas.
Okay, cuckoo.
I want you to have in the back of your head Team America World Police.
All right. Well, so what would you rate 7?
This was a poor man's 7. I mean, I honestly think that description of it was perfect. It was fun. It was very entertaining. And I think, luckily, I went into it without big expectations because I don't love the Saw movies to begin with. But I really enjoy Chris Rock and Samuel L. Jackson.
Yeah.
We're on fire right now.
Yeah, I don't know if they can hear that second fire engine, but...
Wow. It was nothing that scared me significantly. It was nothing that, like, blew my socks off, but I don't regret watching it.
Gore didn't make it unwatchable for you.
Yes. Gore doesn't bother me that much.
Then why are
it
you
just doesn't,
anti-Saw? Why are you anti-torture porn?
It's just because it doesn't do anything for me.
Okay.
Like, to me, it's, I don't know, it's like watching Little Women. Like, I just don't give a shit.
Weird comparison. Like, very strange.
That was
but
a weird
that's
comparison.
okay. I'll take it.
Well, I guess it's just another thing that, like, typically girls like Little Women.
Okay.
Typically horror fans like Saw movies.
I think...
Is that not true? Maybe it's not
I
true.
don't know, though. It's more complex than that. I would love for people to saw off in the comments here.
Yeah, that's true. So anyhow, I give Spiral 2019.
No.
I know, I'm just
different
kidding.
one.
I give Spiral Book of Saw. Don't watch the wrong one. It's not playing on Shudder for free.
Yeah.
But do watch that one, and honestly, maybe instead.
Okay.
I give Spiral from the Saw franchise.
The knife.
What are all those noises?
That's just someone using a bow or a saw making horror noises in the background. It sounds like someone playing a harp with a hammer. And another fire truck. We're fine. There's no...
We're actually on location in Baltimore for this shoot this evening, and that's why you hear...
Is that what's going on?
Oh, God.
I think we're good.
I give Saw Book of Shadows.
That's different. That's a different one as
Damn
well.
It. God damn it. Saw 8.
No, it's the 9th.
I give Saw 9.
No.
Spiral. Saw Book of 9.
What a nightmare.
Cat's Tales.
How many?
9. Oh, it's so hot and we're on fire.
This is not good. This is bad.
I give it 5.9 Pilates classes.
5.9. That seems kind of low considering you said you liked it better than the all other Saw films.
Yes.
Wow, that's all right.
Yes.
Horror is a wide genre, and I think lately I've watched a bit too much grief porn or cerebral horror or the pretty stuff or the indie stuff because I really feel like I needed some dumb blood. I needed the Dutch angles, the high contrast. I needed this film. It's been a while since I've seen something like this. Something that's like a horror film that felt like an amusement park ride. Something to sit in and watch and enjoy.
Yeah, and I can understand that.
Yeah.
That's fair.
Something that kind of curled me up in my seat at points because I'm a big baby. I jumped at every single time that someone wrapped someone's head in cloth, and that rules, and I love it. I think being in the theater definitely helped because after I left, I think I texted you and it's like, I'm not sure if it was a good movie or I just had a good time. And it could be both.
Yeah, I remember you telling me that. I think I would have also walked out saying the same thing from a theater.
It wasn't the smartest film, but it knew what it was. And I think Chris Rock really does understand the Saw franchise. I was reluctant when I first heard that years ago, but he killed it. I think he did a great job. It felt like more of a Saw film than Jigsaw in 2017. And, you know, when you're turning that curve and going up, I'm going to say I will watch a Saw 10. I will, as long as they don't go to space. Is that traditionally what they do on the 10th?
I actually would probably be more interested if they went to space.
All right, fuck off. I give Spiral Session 9.
Nice.
6.6 bloody badges. And those are our thoughts on Spiral, which you can watch. I believe it's out now physically, which also means that I bet the VOD price has gone down. So go check it out. And once you have, let us know what you thought. Reach us on Twitter, Instagram at Frightday. Contact at frightday.com is our email address. You could leave a comment below this episode in the show notes at frightday.com. Or we could talk about it in our Facebook group or our Discord server, facebook.com/group/Frightday or discord.frightday.com. If you like our show and want to help us make it even better, grab something spooky at shop.frightday.com before the shop burns down. Luckily, the shop is in the middle of the city, so it should survive unless this town becomes a paradise, and that could be bad. Don't think that'll happen.
Fucking dying.
We're fine. Everything's good. There's not that much Ash Kelly t-shirts, enamel pins, cassette tapes. Go check it out. If you haven't ever checked out our online store, I would really urge you. There's a lot of really fun stuff. Byron's Cereal Corner store is there. If you like the Kelly's Cryptids and Conspiracies, there's stuff for that too. You can be a co-captain. So
you already are.
You don't even need to invest in.
No, just use that so you can show off to everyone that you are.
Shop.frightday.com. And we may be fueled by Spring Hill Jack coffee, just like a forest fire is fueled by wood. But it's the members of the Frightday Society who keep us
going.
Okay, that has nothing.
When the fire is approaching rapidly,
so it's fine.
They keep us recording.
When you join, why are we outside? The Frightday Society at patreon.com/Frightday. You want another episode each week, you got it. This week, the trilogy concludes. We just wrapped up I believe our final conversation about the UAP preliminary report. If you want to hear us talk all about that, you get that. There's also bonus episodes of Captain Kelly's Cryptids and Conspiracies, Byron's Cereal Corner, The Writer's Room, Toast to Toast PM with Wine Kelly, and Cinema Autopsy. We're prepping for Saw and Logs to come out probably a month and a half. Let's give it that, because Barjonas, listen, it's going to be my life here very soon. You also get the first 10 episodes of the show, and members get early access to new products as well as members-only products and 15% off everything at shop.frightday.com. And I'd like to welcome and initiate a couple folks tonight. One has just bumped up her donation to become a society member. Welcome, Floral Horror.
Awesome name.
It's a good one.
It's a great name.
Floral, I need you
to tell me why all my dahlias are dying.
Well, I don't think you're watering them.
No, I am.
Maybe you're overwatering them?
Well, that's what I thought. So what I've done with all 4 of these pots, I've watered them at different levels to see if it makes any difference. They're all still dying.
Wow, incredible. So email kelly@frightday.com any dahlia tips,
Save
please.
my dahlias.
All right. And I'd also like to welcome and initiate Bailey M. Bailey, I need you right now. Drop everything. Sign up for the police academy. You got to be top of your class.
Yeah.
You need to do that now, and then let me know, and we'll figure out the next step. Okay?
Awesome.
Great. So, you guys are the best. I don't say that enough. I do say it every week. Should say it at the top of the show as well, probably.
Yes,
maybe.
You should.
You guys are the best. Your support of the show is amazing. One thing you can do to really help us out, just leave a review on whatever podcast player you're using. Like, it's in your hand, it's next to you. If you're in your car, pull over, please. That was actually good advice. I usually request make people either physically uncomfortable or borderline assault them in order to do what I'm going to ask them to do next, which is leave a review. Give us 5 stars. Apple Podcast, Stitcher, whatever you're listening to this on. Just, it's in your phone. It's in your hand. The phone is. I'm doing great.
Yeah, I really still think you're drunk.
I'm fine, okay? I drank water. And I ate the dilly bar. Did you poison me? Is this some sort of weird... Don't look. Come on now. I don't like the way you're looking at it.
Did you notice how I ate a red one that looked like a red spiral?
God damn it. You're really good at this. Yes. But yeah, rate and review the show. That's all I was saying. It's important.
It is important.
We got a new review this week.
It was good. It was good.
Don't worry about it.
Somebody needs to explain it to me. I mean,
it doesn't matter.
Okay.
It's fine. Kelly, until next week, where are you going to be?
I'm going to be trying to revive my dahlias.
Great.
I'm going to be hiding from you and your story about Nathan Barjona.
Sure.
I'm going to be on Twitter at Kelly Frightday, and you can email me things that I can read and think about while I'm trying to block out Byron's discussions of Nathan Barjona, kelly@frightday.com.
Until then, I'm going to be in a cabin, really just creating nightmares, honestly. But I like to look at it as removing nightmares from my head, releasing these demons. Byron Serial Corner starts next week.
Nope, I'm not acknowledging. I don't know what you're waiting for me to say, but it's not going to get said.
I'm at Byron McKoy on Twitter and Instagram. Byron@frightday.com is my email address.
Sorry, you get some sleep.
Listen.
Okay.
Tomorrow I got to film a rodeo.
Okay.
And until next Frightday, I'm Byron.
I'm Kelly.
Stay scared. You've been listening to an Audio Wool original, produced by Byron McKoy, theme music provided by Cemeteries. For more programs like this, visit audiowool.co.